David Krapf, editor-in-chief of WorkBoat magazine and WorkBoat.com, and we're with James Shirk, VP of Business Development at Bordelon Marine, and Wes Bordelon, who's the president and CEO, and we're here to talk about Bordelon Marine Shipbuilding, which is their new shipyard, and also for their DP2 PSVs, the Stingray class, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and we have been talking about, and we'll continue to talk about. But the big thing is the design. I want to talk about, actually I was going to get into this next question, is about the hybrid diesel-electric design that you talk about.
Yeah.
And you saw in our previous story what I said, because I had to compress it, but now, really, what does it mean?
Well, it's kind of caught, it's taken a life of its own. It's caught on the hybrid design. And really, we started out to make a conventional boat, a conventional propulsion boat. We're trying to keep the cost down. It started out as a smaller boat, and we weren't ready to go to the full diesel electric package. But we certainly understand and see the benefits of that. So what ended up happening is we kept the conventional propulsion, whereas you have a diesel engine driving a Z-drive directly. But then everything else in the boat went electric. The bow thrusters, the FIFI system, all of your automation, everything is, of course, electric. So it really is one step away from being a diesel electric, because you still have the full power management systems there. You have multiple generators, so you can scale down your power consumption in real time and ramp it up. But it's still a conventional boat. You still have a diesel engine powering a Z-drive with a shaft.
Right.
So it's a bit of a hybrid, and I think that that description is about the best we can do.
Yeah, I had like you said, I had the main stern drives are mechanical, the direct link to the engines.
Right.
And the rest of the vessel, the FIFI motor or 5.5 motor, the bow thrusters and center, those are all electric. Everything else.
That's all electric.
All electric, and then you run them off. The generators, how much power you need. You're 1, 2, 3, whatever. How many generators are there?
We have three.
But you can run one. Or
you run the whole boat off of one generator.
Yeah.
And there's basically 2 large generators and a small generator, and the whole boat can run off of one small generator. And the reason we have that extra power is to run the FIFI motor if we need to, also provide power to the ROV client on board.
Right.
Because the boat is equipped to accommodate 2 large units, work-class large units, and we wanted to bring everything inside the vessel. The vessel has an ROV support room with an online and an offline office, and we wanted all the power to come from the vessel so that there's nothing on the deck. You only have Lars unit on the deck.
Next question was about the shipyard. Did you configure the shipyard with these new boats in mind a little bit?
Completely.
That's what I figured.
Completely.
Because I know you could. These are 255, but you can go up to 300 covered. Is that right?
We can go up to 300.
Okay.
Right.
So what?
310.
So how did you configure it based on the Stingray design?
Well, the yard was built after we had this design, so we knew what we were building.
Right.
So with respect to how large the building was, or how high, what type of hook height we have, what type of distance to the water from the fab building, that was all laid out with the Stingray in mind.
Right.
And then you know, what platforms or construction areas we have outside, what's inside,
Right.
Where's the gas, where's the power. That was all, you know, laid out specific to building one boat at a time. Even though we can build 2 at a time, we pretty much designed to build 1 at a time in more of a linear fashion.
Yeah, so we'll see that in a few minutes.
Right, and the amount of storage space we have, that was all pretty much figured out or designated with respect to building 1.5 boats at any given time.
Now, last question. Bruce Buls, our technical editor from Seattle. Bruce, do you have a final question I want to ask the guys about the design?
Well, I was the design. The design is a work from you guys designed yourself? Or you're working with a naval architect?
Right.
Or?
We're working with a naval architect, and that's Seafly Marine out of Covington. But it's pretty much something that we worked hand in hand with to develop. We're not reinventing the wheel. There are the mud tanks are similar to what you'd find in other vessels, or the stern is something you'd find in another vessel. But there are some unique features like the bow. The bow we created from scratch, if you will, and the superstructure.
That was a collaboration with you, between you guys and the architect?
Yes.
To create that bow design?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is it an enclosed bow?
It's, well, you notice how the superstructure becomes part of the hull, and that's not, unique to itself. There are other vessels out there like that, but specifically it's unique. We wanted it to be of a certain size, and we wanted the depth of the superstructure to be to a certain frame, and the height, and a lot of different features that they're subtleties, but they are unique to our design.
And this is a Solus class vessel, so we look at international standards, and we look 10 years into the future to say, where do we think those standards are going to be 10 years down the road, so we're not living in the past immediately. And we've seen that, the Gulf isn't really, most of the boats in the Gulf aren't to the international standards, so we're well ahead of what's going to be in the Gulf right now, especially for a vessel of this size.
Yeah, and a lot of that, what James mentioned, is that the accoutrements inside the vessel, the living spaces, the ceiling's a little bit higher. Each room has climate control. Most of the rooms have windows. They all have their own head. There's carpet.
And you've got a lot more rooms in here than other comparable sized vessels, right?
Right. A lot of that's because we went to the full breadth of the boat, and then we went up to 5 levels instead of 4. And a lot of Gulf of Mexico boats, as you know, are squatty, and they're 4.
Well, it sounds like a good design. So,
Thank you.
Wes and Jim, we want to thank you.